Hi folks, welcome to or welcome back to Exposed, and if I'm welcoming you back and you like it here, I'd love it if you stayed and subbed. I finally got on to watching the Netflix documentary of Harry and Meghan, and I'm 30 seconds in, if that, and they showed the clip of a woman putting a computer down in front of the pair of them saying, "Oh, I wanted to show you this," and it was Meghan being interviewed in 2015, and they're like, "Do you remember this?" "Oh no, I don't." Fuck off, you don't remember it? Really? And then that, "Oh, William or Harry?" "Oh, I don't know." Making out she didn't know who they were, and then he says, "Oh, it just shows how little you knew." Oh, wake up, Harry. I'm not saying that everyone in America is drooling over the English royal family or has nothing better to do with their time than look up what they're doing. But I do think the majority of people her age in America know who Prince William and Prince Harry are. Oh, I don't know. Whatever, Meghan. Why did you want to do this documentary, Meghan? Long pause. Because when people have got the wrong impression of you, you need to... No! Whatever reason you and he decided leaving the royal family was a good idea to do, then just bloody do it. Off you go, pack your case, go settle wherever you want to settle and live your life. Stop then shouting back, "Oh, and by the way, really?" Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, and the royal family have said nothing." Yes, of course they've said nothing. They're not going to get drawn into this fucking ridiculous argument over nothing. It'd be like me putting my mum on, what do they call it? No contact. I went no contact with my mother. That was it. I felt the need to get away and live my life, and I did that. Have I poked back at her saying, "Oh, but you did this and you did that and my life was shit because da 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 da"? No, because what does it achieve at the end of the day? Fuck all. Nobody cares, Harry. Stop fucking whinging and whining. You got the girl, you've got the kids, you're living in luxury, you're living in fucking a beautiful place where you can go and toot to the shops and get the newspaper without having paps up your hole. Just enjoy it and shut up, please. And fucking Archie's adorable. I could run away with that child. We're conscious of the role that our children play in this story. Why, then, don't you give them a nice quiet life? Harry says that's what he wanted. Didn't like being part of the institution. It's like Diana said to those boys years ago. It's like Spider-Man. What's it with? Something comes great responsibility or something. She said to them, with all these luxuries comes duty. You have to pay back for the life that you're living. He didn't want to live that life. Okay, fair enough. Get that. Totally get that. But you don't pack up and leave and then slag off your family for the fact that you didn't want to be there. Don't be blaming them when the one person or persons that you want to blame is the press. That's who you hate. You hate the press, you hate the journalists, you hate the paparazzi, and you're blaming your family. Maybe there is a connection between the institution and the press. Tough. If there has been, it's been forever and it probably will continue. Your brother deals with it, your dad deals with it. Like somebody said, he seems to forget how Fergie was treated. She was ripped a new one daily in the press. They fucking hated her. And what did she do? Smile through it all. Never heard a word against anybody. Always said what a wonderful grandmother the Queen was. And carried on. Why couldn't you do that, Harry? Stay quiet and carry on. That's the line, isn't it, Meghan? Over our 6 years, books have been written about us, about our story. Doesn't it make more sense to hear our story from us? Why? It makes a mockery of what you're saying you were leaving for. Oh, we don't want to be under the spotlight of the press in the UK, and we don't feel like we were safe, so we've gone to America, and then we've done umpteen interviews, a fucking Netflix documentary, and bloody Harry's written a book telling about using, was it his mother's fucking lip balm on his frostbitten fucking dong? Do we need to hear all that? No, we fucking don't. I'm never going to get to the end of episode 1, am I? I had my single girl summer planned, and a friend contacted me and said a friend of mine would like to meet up with you, and I said, who is it? And they said, Prince has. And I said, who's that? Are we buying this? I'm not saying they don't love each other. I know he fancies the pants off of her, and he's madly in love with her. I need to see more of her with him to see if I really think she's in love with him. But I think they are. I mean, they've got 2 kids. They've buggered off together. But that's where it should have been. You know, like the end of Grease, where they drive off in the car and they just look back and smile. That's what it should have been, Harry. You and Meghan going off into the sunset to live your happy life together. That's what the ending should have been. Not all this fucking bollocking about. She went to Wimbledon, and this woman's just saying, you were in the player box, which is diagonally across from the royal box. How did she get in the player box? Curious. This has got nothing to do with anything, but they've just shown a friend of hers, and her name is Silver Tree. What a cool name. It's like, who? Somebody had a baby the other day. Who was it? Stacey Dooley and Thingy Clifton, Kevin. And they've called her Minnie. So her name's going to be Minnie Clifton. Doesn't that sound like a singer? What a beautiful name. Anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked by Silver Tree. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but boy, has she got a high opinion of herself. Like that thing about you were half an hour or an hour late or whatever it was. And I thought, oh, is this what we're doing? And it's like, I don't ever remember. I don't think I'd have sat around for an hour waiting for somebody, to be fair. But I don't ever remember being that confident that I'd be like, I deserve better than this. It's probably due to my upbringing. But she tries to make out she's this timid little thing. She isn't, is she? She's yeah. This is what most of Britain loved. We didn't get to see this, but we could see how happy he was. And one of my favourite memories is when Archie was born and he came running out to tell the press that Archie had been born. And he was just glowing. And he's like, I know everybody says their baby's the cutest thing ever, but you have to see this child. And it's like, yeah, that's how you are. And he was so happy. I'm sure they both were totally ecstatic that they'd had this gorgeous little boy and that everything was well. And it's like, we were happy with that. We loved the fairy tale. We loved the wedding. Everybody liked Meghan. I want to know where it all went wrong. Because why could they not have just... I don't know. It's like, could they not have just done the job until the Queen died and then said, right, we're out of here? Or when they got married, or Harry go before he married her? I don't know. They're going on about how giddy they both were, and their friends could tell straight away that they'd fallen in love and what have you. And it's like, that's beautiful. Why couldn't you just do the scene from Greece? Because now you've fucked everything up with this stupid fucking documentary and this silly book. Why? Is the money always more important? I don't want ever to be in my life and have the almighty dollar as the most important thing in it. That's just sad. That's one memory I've got, is like Diana at Thorpe Park getting soaked on a ride with the boys, and where she ran with her arms outstretched on the, I think it was Britannia or something, when they came to visit, or they got home, or whatever the hell was going on. She hadn't seen them in ages because her and Charles were off doing something. And it's like, it's beautiful. And they had a wonderful mother. She adored those boys, and their early years were amazing. And he lost her too soon, but he can't live the rest of his life angry that she's gone, because that's not what she would have wanted, I'm sure. She'd want him to move on, be happy, and live whatever life he wanted to live. I mean, I'm sure she'd be really happy that he'd married Meghan and fucked off to America. I'm sure she'd be really pleased with that, but I'm not so sure that she'd agree with all the nonsense since then. I think that's the sad part of it all. This is what the royal family is about. This lady here, who at 21 pledged there to devote her entire life, be it long or short, to the service of this country, and she did that to her dying day. They always go on about the British stiff upper lip. That was the Queen. She didn't show emotion because she wasn't allowed to. She had to be the one true thing that people looked to in times of trouble. And if she was having a fit, then we were all fucked, basically. And it's like, that's how Harry was brought up. He knew the rules. I don't agree with all the pomp and ceremony and bollocks that goes along with it, but do you know what I mean? It's like people say, oh, we don't need a royal family. Yeah, but we've got one. So can we not just let them do what they do and leave it at that? All Harry and Meghan had to do was do the fucking job that they were assigned to do, and then as soon as they went back into their home and shut the door, they could do whatever the fuck they liked. All you have to do when you're in public is just smile and shake hands. It's not difficult. And he keeps going on about the paps, and it's like, yes, but it's not like it was with your mother. They hounded your mum. They were under her feet. She couldn't get into a car for tripping over them. Whereas now, they stand back. They let you pass. They don't hound you. They don't have... Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's anywhere near as bad now as it used to be, because more rules have been put in place. And he's going on about, oh, when I was younger, there was always someone jumping out of somewhere with a camera. And it's like, well, that's unfortunate, but that's the family you were in. It's hardly their fault, is it? You're shouting back at William now, at Charles and at Camilla and all the rest. It's not their fault. They were born into it as much... Well, Camilla wasn't, obviously, but they were born into it, same as you. They've dealt with it, can't you? What is wrong with you that you can't either stay and suck it up or go away and shut up? Here he is again, whinging and whining. We had to stand there and smile for the press and answer questions. Wow. Fucking heart bleeds, Harry. You answered a few questions, or rather you didn't, William did. Smiled for the cameras and then spent a fortnight or whatever it was skiing. Do you know how many kids in London would be quite happy to stand and have their picture taken and answer a few questions to get a week skiing? I like to stand there. Privileged little prick. Harry just said, my mother was harassed during her life with my dad, but when they separated, the paparazzi went to a whole new level. Exactly, Harry. She was protected when she was with the royal family, as are you and Meghan. I don't understand. I haven't got to that bit, obviously, but I don't get the, oh, we had to run for our own safety. Like no one was looking out for you when you were part of the royal family. Bollocks. So much of Meghan is the same as my mum. That says a lot, doesn't it? He says she has the same empathy as Diana, the same warmth. Not having got to see much of her, I wouldn't know, but is that what he was looking for? Again, he's moaning about the press and what they wrote while he was in Eton, blah, 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 blah. He's out taking drugs, getting drunk, falling out of pubs, got a girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. But if you were J-Lo's son, you'd probably have the same treatment. Probably not to the degree that you get it, but if you're in that type of family, and especially the royal family, people want to read about what they're doing. They're interested. It's like people loved Diana, therefore they loved William and Harry, and they watched those boys grow up. I'm one of them. And it's like, oh, you know, William's done so and so, Harry's done such and such. It's like they said it in this programme and I thought, no, that's not right. But it is sort of. It's like an extended family. It's like your great cousins that live in that big house in the middle of London. And it's like, oh, what are they up to? That's basically what the stories in the press were. And it's like, he keeps saying, it's like I said about Lardy. Oh, I lost my job because the haters rang up and said I was doing, but you were doing. If you weren't doing, no one would have anything to say. Same as with Harry. If you weren't getting drunk and taking drugs and falling out of a pub, they'd have nothing to write about. That's the bit he's missing. And it's like, yes, Britain was interested in what you were doing because that's the family you were born into. Suck it up, Buttercup. I was a young boy trying to cope with the death of my mother without much help or guidance. What does he think other people get? What help or guidance does anybody get when a family member dies? It's up to you to cope with the grief, get through it and carry on the other side. What are you expecting to happen? Did William get all the stuff that you're saying you didn't get? No. How cool is that, being that close to an elephant? I'd love that, being out in the wild taking pictures. But they're going on about his time in Africa, and he was saying that, you know, he got away and he could be himself and all the rest of it. And it's like, I totally get that. His Africa is my Butlins, you know, is when I was just Jools and nobody cared who I was, where I came from. And he was just the same out there. He was just Harry. But it just keeps bringing me back to all this time you spent away. You realised you didn't want to be in the family you were in. Why didn't you go sooner? When you met Meghan, why didn't you say to her, I think it'd be best if the two of us just buggered off to America and had a nice quiet wedding out there and lived our life? Because you keep saying you were looking for someone that would be able to take on the life that you were in, but you didn't like the life that you were in, so why would you bring anyone else into it? Like I keep saying, we just wanted the ending of Greece. He said, I'm going to Botswana for a week, and I was off the same week, and he said, do you want to come? And I said, let me think about it. And then I said, yes. Oh, it was such a leap, says her friend. Oh, we were going to the bush. What if I didn't like him and I was stuck in a tent for 5 days? Oh, shut the fuck up, really? It's not like you're going out there with Ted Bundy. 5 days in a tent. If he farts and his feet smell, at the end of the week you say, yeah, it was nice meeting you, bye. Do you know what I mean? Stop making it sound like, I don't know, they're making it sound like it's such a big deal. It's Prince fucking Harry that you're going to Botswana with, not some Smoky Joe that you met at the local fucking whatever. You put a lot of faith and a lot of trust in me. Really? Like I keep saying, you're Prince friggin' Harry. She's an actress. It's not every day of the week you get to tootle off to Botswana. Oh, you put a lot of faith in me. To what? Not eat her in the middle of the night? Really? It's the over-egging of everything. It's like, get a fucking grip, will you? Whoever was just narrating now was saying that people think that the royal family live in palaces and they have servants waiting on them 24/7 and they live such a privileged life. And he said, I don't agree with that. I think they live in a gilded cage. And I totally agree. Like he said, they don't have what other people take for granted. Like being able to just jump in the car and drive somewhere, go to McDonald's for a Happy Meal. Stuff like they can't do that. Everything has to be timed to perfection and security and what have you, which is why I still don't understand what the fuck Harry's going on about safety about. But anyway. So, but they do get a lot of privileges. They don't have to worry about where the money for the gas bill's coming from and all the rest of the things that normal people in their day-to-day life do. But as I keep saying, he knew all this and she knew all this, and yet she still went through with the wedding. And I think then she realised that that wasn't the life that she wanted. And he wasn't about to watch her walk away because he's in love with her. But it all could have been done earlier or later. Do you know what I mean? One of the two. Either don't have the whole big hoo-ha of a marriage and wedding in the UK with the public picking up the bill for most of it, when you could have just slipped off to New York, had a quiet wedding with her friends and your friends and no one would have known, and just left the family then. Did Harry really just say pull the pin on the fun grenade? Of all the things he said lately, that's the cringiest. Harry. So the story broke, and she just hoped that it'd be like Botswana and he would keep her safe. Tell me this isn't scripted. He'd warned you of what life was like in the royal family. You knew what was about to happen. Don't tell me that she wasn't all for it and getting excited about having her face on the front page of the paper. Anyway, that's episode 1. I don't know what I think. I think she was swept up with it all. I'm not sure she's as in love with him as he is with her yet. I need to see more. Because she was like, oh, it was so exciting. Well, it will be, won't it? If you're tootling around in secret dating a prince from England, of course it's going to be exciting. Anyone would be excited with that, flying in and out of England to have secret meetings and all the rest of it. Going off to Botswana for a week on your own. But we will see what the next episode leads me to think. Anyway, if you've got this far with me, thank you very much. And I will catch you in the next one.